granniopteryx, granniopteryx. She knows the truth, she's linking every link.
United Kingdom. Where's United Kingdom? Where's our friend? Where? Come here. Is everything going good?
Very good.
That's very nice that you're here. These people all came in like 20-minute notice, and
Is there any way that Keir Starmer could possibly humiliate me more? Just look at that. Are you there? Oh, yes, you're there. Oh, go away now. Get back into your place. I mean, there's nothing wrong with what Trump did. This is like the boy at the party who you didn't invite. Oh. I'm going to be talking about the Gaza peace plan, the main points and the claims of the embarrassing British government. Yeah. If you want to, please, how can I say like this video? Click like. You don't have to like it. I don't like it. I don't think anyone in Britain likes it. Even Starmer's supporters probably don't like it, even though they might make a brave face of it in Twix posts. Oh, anyway, like, subscribe, share the video. Oh, God, what am I asking you to do? If you want to support me financially, you can do that. All the links are in the description. Oh, God, this is so embarrassing. Oh, yes, here it says there was something schoolboy-like about the sight of Starmer waddling up to the podium. I'd got the same image of the boy who said, "Yeah, I'm here, sir. And then there's this. Row breaks out in this is from The Independent again, over UK's role in Gaza as Cabinet Minister is labelled delusional. She says what was going on behind the scenes was that Britain was playing a key role. No, there was somebody British playing a key role, and that was Jonathan Powell, who is a civil servant who, cut his teeth on negotiating for Tony Blair with the IRA. And he was brought in and he did some negotiations, and he's an educated and intelligent person, an old style civil servant, I suppose. I've never met the man, and I've never even heard him talk, and I'm having trouble finding pictures of him as well. He's that sort of person. But he was obviously quite important in that way. But that's not the British government. That was just a civil servant negotiator. There are people like that still around. And Keir Starmer himself was nothing but an impediment. This government, the whole lot of them, nothing but an impediment to peace. And here, Steve Witkoff praised the input and tireless efforts of the UK's National Security Advisor, Jonathan Powell. Yeah. And yes, so Britain, I suppose, Phillipson will say that, yeah, Britain did have a key role. Yeah, we have one good man who has nothing to do with the Labour government, but there they are trying to claim responsibility for this. Just like, by the way, after the worst storms this year whipped the seas up to, tens of feet splashing down on our coastline, and rain and thunder and clouds. And then after that, Starmer, or was it actually Shabina Mahmood, one of them said, well, look, our efforts to stop the boats is working. We didn't get any new illegal migrants for that read invasion. We didn't get any new ones this week. They are taking credit for the weather. This is not doing my blood pressure any good, is it? Okay, so yeah, Jonathan Powell, yes. That name might be pronounced Pole very often. So if Jonathan Powell or Pole is watching this, I apologise for not getting it right. Okay, right. So I'm just going to go through the main points as listed by Muhtar Zahran, who is he's described as the opposition leader in Jordan, as much as there can be an opposition in Jordan. He doesn't like the king. I'm not sure why he doesn't like the king. He says he's involved with the Muslim Brotherhood. That's what Muhtar Zahran says. I can't say that for sure. I haven't noticed Jordan particularly fanatical about Islam, but then, I don't know. Muhtar Zahran might be correct as well. Anyway, so the Gaza Strip is now under the direct control of US Central Command, and the American presence there will be permanent. I don't know how you Americans feel about that, but maybe Trump or the American military has decided that it's a good idea to have what amounts to an unsinkable battleship there in the Eastern Mediterranean. If it became a big American port, it would be quite handy for the Americans. Then they don't have to rely on the goodwill of various others, especially the Qataris. And this actually might be quite nerve-wracking for the Qataris, because they have had American protection, even though they have been giving aid and help to Hamas and various other terrorist groups who are being funded by, for instance, Iran. They have been getting American protection because at the same time as they've been giving hotel rooms to Hamas leaders, they've also been giving American ships portage or whatever it's called. In 1996, they built Al Udeid Air Base at the cost of more than $1 billion. The US first used the then secret base in late September 2001 when the US Air Force needed to get aircraft in position for its operations in Afghanistan. So that has been a base for the Americans. And if they put another base in Gaza, that means that they won't be quite so dependent on Qatar. And that might make the Qataris feel a little bit nervous, which is something the Qataris need to feel. After the Israelis bombed the Hamas place, and actually they did not kill the leaders that they were aiming for, and they apologised to the Qataris under pressure from Trump. That doesn't matter. It was a success because it made the Qataris very nervous. They realised that the Israelis could and would get at them if enough aggravated. So or rather irritated, sorry, that was the wrong word. So now that the idea that the Americans will have another permanent base in Gaza, that will make them even more nervous. They realise they're going to lose some of their power, and that might induce them to act a bit more like civilised human beings. Hamas will never govern Gaza again. Well, we'll see about that. Zahran says that the top leaders have already started to leave on the sly, which I can believe, because at base they are just cowards. They like to big up their bravery, and we love death, and they love life. So they love life plenty. They spent their entire war down there protected by human shields, both their own citizens and captive Israelis. And now some of their own citizens are turning against them. They're going. It says here, senior Hamas officials and their families are being resettled in 4 countries, including one Western nation. Doesn't say which one. I wonder if it's right here. Because there are already Hamas leaders living at the council's expense. There's one in Barnet, which is in North London, a Jewish area, by the way. Not a Jewish area, but an area where there are many Jews. Living in a council house, that is, his house is subsidised by the British government, by the council. Each family will receive a house and $250,000. Well, nice work if you can get it. It just requires that you kill your own citizens, kill the citizens of another country, and put Islamist poison everywhere around you. But yeah, I mean, why not get a house and $250,000? 2 Arab nations have pledged $120 billion in aid for Gaza's reconstruction, along with more than $300 billion in investments. You know, actually, reconstructing Gaza is going to be very difficult. A lot of people see whole areas of Gaza that look like a moonscape now. Flattened, rubble, dust, a mess. And they blame the Israelis for bombing them. What actually was going on was that the Israelis bombed the empty cities because they were booby-trapped. And those booby traps mostly were exploded. There are many videos showing the explosions going in like a sort of chain all the way along the booby-trapped tunnels underground, and the buildings. As one explodes, all the rest explode as well because they're caught in the chain. However, there will be some left, and I reckon that a lot of those areas will be very unsafe. And in many years' time, we are going to hear of kids who are exploring places being blown up by IEDs that were left by Hamas when they'd evacuated the people and they wanted the Israeli army to go in there and they wanted to blow them up. So I don't know how they are going to rebuild Gaza, actually. I don't know how that's going to be possible. There are many areas there that are going to be extremely dangerous, possibly for hundreds of years. Anyway, it says they want to develop Gaza's massive offshore gas fields, and that's nice, but who's going to get the profits? Because a lot of the people there are still going to be living in tents in 10 years' time. I'm sure of it. And they won't be able to move into their old places for what I just said before. These efforts are expected to bring real economic improvement to everyday Gazans. Well, I do hope so, although I'm not sure that economic improvement actually is mental improvement. What they need is schooling and not money. It says here, British and Indonesian forces will play a key role in keeping security across the Strip. That means British forces in there. Are you happy with that? Who gave Starmer permission to put British forces into what I said? This place will be booby-trapped. There will be booby traps all over the place and a lot of fanatics there. There is a good reason why Egypt built a wall much bigger than the Israelis built between Gaza and Egypt. And why they destroyed all of Rafah on the other side of the wall. They didn't want the Gazans in because they know how dangerous they are. And it says here, British forces there. I don't like that at all. Israelis will return to northern Gaza where there will be a permanent civilian Israeli presence. So it looks like Israel is taking a chunk of the north of Gaza. I've been trying to find maps. I couldn't find any. But as I understand it, I asked an Israeli, I don't know how accurate she was, but she said there's some high ground in northern Gaza. She said it was a hill. I can't believe it's a hill. This is all coastal plain. It might be a tell, though. That is a place where there had been a town and then the town had been destroyed and it was built on over, and then that was destroyed and then it was built. There are many of those in that area, and they are high ground. And it's possible that there are tunnels there because it's easier to make tunnels in a tell than it would be underground. You're not getting water table problems. And of course, it makes a lookout area as well. So it looks like the Israelis are going to get the strategic heights of Gaza, and I approve of that. It says here the deal came together after President Trump met Arab leaders who'd backed Hamas in New York. I think he means Arab leaders who backed Hamas, and he met them in New York. Yeah, I think that's probably what happened, warning them they'd face serious consequences if they kept pushing for war. I can imagine the Arab leaders he was talking to in New York were Qatari. And he was saying, you know, if you don't do this, we'll just make our base in Gaza and we'll pull out of Qatar, and then you can take your chances with Iran if you want to. It says here many Arab governments had actually wanted the Gaza conflict to serve their own political interests, and distract their citizens from domestic problems. Right, so that's the peace deal. The Gaza Strip under US Central Command, that means there will be American soldiers there, and it says here that there will be British soldiers there. I hope it works out all right for the sake of those fine young people. I don't like the idea of British soldiers being on that sort of land, though. And they are there only because Keir Starmer wants to appear to be an international leader. Yeah, okay. Till next time. You can help my channel by subscribing and clicking the notification bell. That's quite important. And by sharing if you're so inclined. Links to my other channels and to donation methods are in the description. But the best way you can help is simply by clicking like and notify. Thank you.